Here's to you, dear listeners. Welcome to Metal Gear Mondays, the most thorough Metal Gear podcast on the internet. I am your host, Sam Wright, and I'm joined by a couple of miscreants. Alessia Summerfield.
Also categorized as a misfit from time to time. Hi.
Indeed. And Isaac Lim.
But not a misdemeanor, I hope.
Oh.
If you're referring to Missy Elliott's sophomore record, then yes.
Oh, yes.
Only felonies up in this bitch.
Oh my gosh.
We're here. We finished up our Metal Gear Solid 5 coverage of the main game, and this is our outer op. So of course, we'll do this one more time, explain our little format here. So to make our side ops a little bit more interesting for people who don't necessarily, we care, but some people don't care about fan letters. So we're trying to spice it up. We're going to make it like kind of like a little bit of an extra op, a little bit of a side op, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
A little bit of column C.
A little bit of column C. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yep. So before we begin our topic discussion, we have some Patreon shout outs to do. Alessio, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to the one and only. Not only are you super involved on the Discord, and I like talking to you quite a bit, but you also increased your contributions, and for that, thank you.
The one and only who?
Just the one and only.
Just the one and only.
The one and only.
Though
actually,
no, if you read it just in the capital letters.
Though no.
Though no.
I'm never gonna be able to unsee that. It's just though
Or-
now.
Oh
Or
no.
Enenly with all the
Enenly.
lowercase.
All the lowercase letters.
Enenly.
Enenly.
We could do this forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we should.
We shouldn't. We also got. I would like to. This person's name, as I'm reading it, is Sean Loser, which feels wrong.
You're a winner in my book, Sean.
You're a winner in my book, Sean. We're gonna call you
Sean, you should
Winner.
quit disrespecting yourself and maybe consider changing your last name.
Legally.
You're worth more than that, Sean.
Yeah.
Then we got Stephen Chan.
Always falls to Isaac.
Chion.
Isaac's always the one who's got to handle these.
Chinin. One of those 5.
You pick.
You pick.
Oh,
This is.
you pick.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Ben Lewis. Thank you, Ben.
Ben Lewis.
Oh, Sam. Of course you get this. This is destiny.
This is Destiny.
Oh,
so
no, he picked
y'all
this
heard about my best friend Tori Cortez.
Actually, I'm
We
unfamiliar.
got oh well, shit. We got her brother in the house, Chase Cortez. What up, boy?
Chase, could you do me a favor and convince your father to also contribute?
Yeah, just get the whole Cortez family up in this.
Yeah, this must be an unsettled America with the number of Cortezes we got running around.
Oh shit!
Jeez.
Who else we got? Isaac?
I don't know. You almost hate me because I got all the hard names. I'm sorry, Will. Frechette.
That's you nailed it. You got it. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be. I'm pretty sure it's Frechette.
Frechette.
I just love I love the idea of Isaac saying I'm sorry to all the names that he's introducing.
Call him Mr. Bruschetta.
And last but not least, definitely not least, Joshua Mason. Thank you so much.
Yay! We've also got a message because, of course, 5+ patrons get a 150-word message that we will read on the show.
And everybody's name we just read is eligible for this, and we have not received them from all of these people. So, for the love of God, y'all, I'm gonna double check to make sure we're not missing any while Sam reads this. But come on, step it up.
This is from Sean L., who I believe is the aforementioned Sean Winner.
Mm-hmm.
We're calling it Sean Winner.
It's Sean Le Champion from now on.
He says, I can't believe it has taken me this long to contribute to this awesome podcast. Each week, I look forward to hearing you guys discuss a different game or other types of media that has an influence on this wonderfully crazy series. Metal Gear has always been a big part of my life, and the care that you guys put into the podcast really enhances all of my recent replays of the games. I don't consider myself a, quote, smart Metal Gear player, so I very much enjoy listening to you guys deep dive all the characters, settings, and themes of the games. Congrats on making it to episode 100, and here's to many, many more. Your friend, Sean L., Box Looter.
Nice. I do have one more quick patron thing I want to throw in here, actually.
What's up?
So, longtime listener, River. I don't know if you guys remember River.
Yeah, I do.
River shot me a message a couple days ago, and really quickly, he just kind of said, "Hey, sorry for the long hiatus. He just had a lot of stuff going on," which is totally cool. But he did ask 2 questions. One, where is Isaac? I can easily respond to that. Isaac's right here. Say hi, Isaac.
Hello, River.
Second question, he said, I like that Sam's hosting, but is it because Alessio dislikes the Phantom Pain so much? And,
that could be why.
I just want to say, River, it is not. I've just been getting quite busy, much like you have, and can't. Typically, the person who hosts the episode is also the one who puts together like the most thorough notes, and and that just absolutely was not me this season.
Yeah, you should have seen my fucking notes.
Oh,
It was
dude,
nuts.
Sam's notes made me like question whether or not I need to even be on this podcast anymore. They were so thorough.
I don't know about all that. It's really good to hear from you, dude, because I literally asked this question a couple days ago. I was talking to, I don't know if it was on the show or what, but I was like, I wonder where River's at, and it's good to hear from you.
Yeah,
So
thank you, River. But yeah, y'all want to get into these topics?
I think I do.
Perfect.
So the first thing that we want to touch on is Metal Gear Online. We played. Me and Alessio played a little bit of Metal Gear Online with some of our delightful listeners, which Liquid Metal Mike and Matt's What She Said, and we played a little bit with Tyler Nunez, who is also one of our patrons.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was
we
a lot
had
of
a
fun.
good time.
Yeah.
How was it?
So one of the things that we made note of is that and one of the things we also discussed within the episodes themselves is the mechanics of Metal Gear Solid 5, I think, are the most solid part of the video game. And so just having that be your focus and the only goal is to just fucking do whatever is very fun. But yeah.
Yeah, I think-
Alessio, you'd like to expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I think also I am known to say extreme things and then kind of walk it back a little bit. I know that I don't have like a track record for being hyper into multiplayer games, but I think, and this might actually put me in a camp unlike Sam. Well, maybe not, no, because I think Sam and Isaac, I think both of you guys enjoy this too. I think we just seek it out a little less frequently. If I've got folks to just kind of hang out with, I will make time to hop on and play some games. And I actually really enjoy like coordinating and kind of, I don't know, just like talking while we're playing or whatever. So I actually super enjoyed just like talking to Mike and Matt and Sam and Tyler while playing this game. I think the first night, me, Matt, and Liquid Metal Mike just kind of like, I don't know, it was like real no nonsense. I don't know why we were just talking about like what was actually happening in the game itself. And it was still a lot of fun, but yeah, it's cool. One notable thing I wanted to point out, and so if you have the definitive edition, you have all this DLC for free. If you don't have the definitive edition, you have to pay $3.99, I think, for the add-on for the online extra levels or whatever. But it was me, Sam, and Matt got into a match with one super good player playing as Quiet. And
Yeah,
I
it
was
was a lot of fun.
yeah, and I was Venom Snake, and then Sam and Matt were just like random MSF dudes, and we were running around Mother Base and excuse me, Diamond Dogs. We were running around Mother Base, and it was nuts. We were just like, "Do you see her? Do you see her? Do you see her?" And then all of a sudden, I'd look in the top right corner, and it'd be like, "Quiet, just assassinated." That's what she said, and we were just like,
my
"Oh
God.
my god, oh my god."
That's frightening.
Yeah, it was very
and it
fun.
was like such a accomplishment whenever like you would take her down. Like it was very cool. We did get me, Alessio, and was it Mike or Matt? One of the it was Matt. Got murked by some professional
yeah.
gamers.
Dude, that was insane. Through the power of editing, nobody heard Sam take a break real quick, but I just wanted to mention something that me and Isaac were talking about in the green room. Isaac was talking about how he normally isn't very good at online games. I think this game does a pretty good job at balancing, though, because like even dudes with like end game stuff, like most of the gear that you get, other than the guns, most of the gear is just purely cosmetic, like the outfits. And so there's a pretty good balance of like your dude can take a couple hits, but you can also like put people down pretty quick. So I don't know. It feels rewarding even for people who aren't super good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that like it works similarly to Metal Gear Solid 5 where you can like sneak up and insta kill people just by slitting their throat or something like that. So it's very forgiving in a way, but it still has its challenges. Like when you get some like really good fucking people, like you're gonna have a hard time, especially because not a lot of people are playing it these days. But it's a good time.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask, how's the matchmaking? Since is it just like whatever, or is it kind of pretty smart?
As far as that goes, so the regular like team death, basically what the team deathmatch mode is the most popular one. We weren't really able to, aside from that like one time we played with that quiet player, we weren't really able to mess with any of the other modes because there weren't a lot of people doing those.
Yeah, but if you just do auto
and trying to do that was what locked us into the 30-minute 199 ticket 2-round matchups we had with the people that murked us so hard.
Yeah, that my teeth hurt when we got done.
Yeah, but me and Alessio like made our own game, so you can roll. So we were just rolling around the map and watching each other and stuff like that.
It's fucking amazing. Yeah, I love that. There's one other thing I wanted to mention. I'm trying to remember what the fuck it was. I think the game, the strongest aspect of the multiplayer, honestly, in my opinion, is that you can play it like a third person kind of MMO, shoot 'em up. Like you can play it like a third person Overwatch or something if you want. But the game does a really good job of like rewarding you for actually using your sneaking abilities from the main game. So like if you crouch walk and hide behind shit, like you won't show up on people's radar. And it just does a really, really good job of I don't know, just like rewarding you for actually playing like you would as Venom Snake, as opposed to just running around like a jackass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It feels balanced. It feels fair, which is weird for an online game.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it went from me because I kept Metal Gear Solid 5 on my hard drive, for Metal Gear Online, just so we could play it for the show and I could just be done with it, honestly. And I think I texted Alessio as much. I was just like, I just want to play the game and just not have to worry about it anymore. But I still haven't deleted it. Like, it's something that I would like to come back to and play with the crew.
Yeah, I've actually been like every once in a while, if I get like an hour or two, I'll just like pop it on and actually just kind of play some random matches. So like if anybody wants to add me or Sam on PSN, like if you see that we're in the game, just like shoot us a message. Yeah, I'm AC Summerfield on PSN. Sam, what is yours again? Is it just Sangel?
No, it's Deadpool Alpha.
That's right. I knew that. I'm sorry.
I thought about changing it to Sangel since you could change your PSN name now, but I'm going to wait until they work out the kinks on that one. It's kind of like how you don't ever want to be the first person to live on Mars because you're going to die horribly. But I'd like to be like the fifth Mars colony. You know what I mean?
Isaac,
like I'll change my PSN name when like the 5th round of updates comes, you know.
Isaac, can we shout out your PSN name on the show?
Oh, I don't know what mine is.
I know what it is.
He doesn't remember what it is.
Oh,
no, I know what it is.
Is it Mike
I
and
do
Yitzhak?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Mike and Yitzhak.
Very nice.
We've told that story on the show before, so we won't tell it again. But it's
so,
what a wonderful story.
Yeah, God bless you, Dr. Phillips. That's all I'm going to say.
Dr. Phillips.
I still talk to that guy every once in a while, so that's
really
weird. Yeah. He works with my mother.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, do you guys want to jump into the next topic? This one's the big one. This is the one that the episode's probably going to get named after.
Yeah. How would you fix the problems with Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain? So, may I start?
I think Isaac should start.
Huh?
You think Isaac? Isaac, you got some ideas?
Yeah, Isaac, can you just assume the problems and then just tell us your proposed solutions?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what one of the problems I found.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Yeah, come on, guys, gears. No, the little the pets that you can get. Why can't you collect more? You got a horse, you got a donkey. Why not a little kitty cat? Why not a snake? A snake would be cool, actually.
Dude, that'd be fucking amazing. You just throw your little buddy out there.
Chuck the snake.
Why not a falcon?
A falcon. Oh, falconry. Now we're talking. You know?
Why not a friend? Why not a fucking drop-in co-op opportunity?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm really on board with it. Why not Raiden? Yeah.
Why not Quentin Flynn?
I'm really on board with this idea. I just got off of yesterday seeing Detective Pikachu for the second time in theaters.
Oh.
And
how's that?
I'm really on board with this idea. I really like it. I think it's cute. It's not like the greatest movie ever, but it's a very entertaining.
So you're saying it's the Speed Racer of video game movies?
It's definitely the best video game movie I've ever seen. And I know that's not a very high bar, but it's the best by a large margin, not just by default.
Tell them large margin sent you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I'm really on board with this collect them all pets idea.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
You got any other fixes for it?
What if you could send out any of the animals that you captured?
See?
Ooh. Snake riding a bear? Anyone?
So I can send out that fucking legendary brown bear to fucking maul people?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can fold in all these animals.
Why couldn't Kojima be a pet?
Oh.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
I wish that Hideo Kojima was in the whatever the assault team was, so I could play as him.
Oh, yeah. I wonder, I wish that you could have Ocelot deployed with you. How cool would that be?
Oh, that would be sweet.
That would be really cool.
That would be really cool.
A lot of missed opportunities.
Come on, guys.
It's almost as if that there are a lot of missed opportunities in this game.
I'll tell you what else.
What I'd do.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, shit.
Okay.
This is what we needed.
He's got stuff.
We should have got plasma grenades. That would have made the game much better. Right?
I agree.
Like Halo?
Just like Halo.
Oh, man. What about like a weather gun? You can shoot lightning from the sky.
Ooh.
Oh.
Get a dubstep gun?
I do. I want to see like a little Saints Row in here.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody should make a skin or a mod. That would be sweet.
Sam, what were you going to say?
Yeah, anyway.
No, I'm just along for the ride at this point, boys. I'm happy to just go with this.
I'm looking for Diamond Goat. I need Diamond Goat.
Diamond Goat.
Can I get Diamond Jack?
Diamond Goat Simulator?
Can I get Diamond Jack from Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie?
Can I get that dad? I want to meet that dad.
I want to meet that dad.
Can I get, you know what would really improve this game is nude tame.
I will say, and it wasn't even really a joke, like, why the fuck is there not drop-in co-op in this game?
Yeah, that would
It's
be
the
really
perfect
cool.
game for
This
it.
game would have been insane. Like, it would have been so good to be like, hey, Sam, you're going to be fucking whatever alcoholic buzzard, and you're gonna be irritated mosquito, and you're going to jump out the helicopter with me. Let's fucking ride or die. Can you imagine coordinating with a friend on those like subsistence missions or whatever? Man, it would have been so good.
It would have been and not even just the subsistence ones, like all of them.
Yeah, it would have been
Okay,
great.
you're gonna infiltrate from this direction. You're gonna do this, and you'll cause this distraction. And then I'll sneak in through here and grab that. Like it's the perfect like. If you're gonna do an open world game that's heavily centered around stealth, and like there is a capability for multiple like there is like quiet like you have buddies you can deploy with an assistant and your mother base people can do missions for like in place like just do the fucking co-op.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sam, we had some serious ones from part 3 of our coverage, but I feel like we kind of talked about those, didn't we?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think primarily, honestly, and as cool as like the idea of an open world game is, think that like especially for Metal Gear Solid because there's so much like it's the problem is that they don't utilize the space in between where you're going well. It's kind of like Red Dead in that way where there's just like vast expanses of nothing until you run into those like random guards in the middle of the road that like you don't see until it's too late. So
Right.
It's like they don't utilize the space. I think if they utilized the space more, it could have been better. But like they don't even utilize the space in story beats, like with the whole Jeep trip.
Oh my god.
So like
Yeah, see our skit from the top of number 99.
yeah. So the problem becomes then what do? You either utilize the space better, which would have taken more time and probably more money, and they didn't have that with all the drama, or you do the thing that Metal Gear has always done and does well is create a linear experience and like move it from beat to beat. Like that's what you want people to do is move from beat to beat. You created a Monster Hunter game. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Yeah, why not both? I mean, I feel like they could have done a big open world as long as they had plenty of little bases and stuff for the beat by beat stuff. So yeah. I don't know. I do want to say, I do want to go on the show and state that I have played a couple more hours of Red Dead Redemption 2 in the last like week or two, just to kind of let it simmer. And I think I've discovered it's not that it's. So I said on a Patriot Club that is actually going to come out, I think, a little bit before this, that the game was kind of boring. I've discovered what it is.
2 or 1?
2, both. Any of them. The issue that I found is that it's not that it's boring, because there is some good shit there. I think what it is that the game forces you to take it at the pace that it wants to give it, which is fine, but it feels a little disrespectful to the player to be like, hey, you're literally going to ride on a fucking horse for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
With nothing else to do. And that's kind of
it's not. Yeah,
this game does the same thing.
Like
this game is like before you get any of the other, even when you do get the other partners, you're either sprinting or you're riding the horse in one direction for like fucking 3 or 4 minutes. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Sam.
And it's especially because like it's so slow to get places, and the problem is that they use your buddy slot for the horse, which gets you places faster. And so if you use the horse, you don't have your other buddies, but then you can swap out your buddies, but that costs a lot of GMP. And then if you need to get to another place, you have to swap out your buddies again to get the horse back. Then you have to swap out your buddies again when you get to the place, and it's always costing money, and it takes the time to wait for for the trade to happen. It's so like they don't encourage, like the problem is that they don't encourage you to go places fast, even though you need to go places fast.
Yeah, this needs to be Sonic. I'm kidding.
Oh God, there have been some missions. Like I looked up after we played. Like we talked about a mission where the MSF soldier was a captive, breaks free of his captivity, takes the truck, and then crashes the truck.
Oh yeah.
So if you get to him fast enough, he doesn't steal the truck. He still dies, but he doesn't steal the truck. And you don't alert any of the guards, and that's all determined by how fast you get there. So if you go into the deploy point and you don't have the horse, like you're never going to get there fast enough.
Yeah, unless you sprint
and it's
like
just one
a
of those
crazy
things
person.
where it's just like, yeah, and they're just things that like, you know, it's and there's no time to swap them out either. So it's like they actively discourage you from doing good shit. You know what I mean?
And I do want to throw this little caveat out there too for people that are like, well, it's meant to be replayed over and over and over again. Check it out. Another game that's meant to be replayed over and over again, Hotline Miami. When you die, it's a single fucking button and half a second before you're back in it. Even look at Super Hot. When you die, it's like 20 seconds and you're back in it. And those are games that are meant to be like played over and over and over and over and over. And so I think unfortunately with Metal Gear, it's like if you die, yeah, you can load from checkpoint, but if you restart the whole mission to kind of try and do it again, or if you're coming back and replaying missions, you have to sit through helicopter load screens, you have to sit through opening credits, you have to sit through all kinds of shit you can't skip. And so it ends up just covering the whole game in this weird patina of like, hey buddy, slow down. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like I don't want to dedicate 7 hours every time I want to play this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and you can argue that that it's like Hotline Miami and Super Hot, like comparatively speaking, graphics wise and like processing wise to Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's fair. There's going to be like a difference in time waiting to reload a death from one point to another like that. But you don't need to make the player sit through this and the credits and the helicopter and the this and the this. Like, it's not necessary.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Hotline Miami and like Doom 2016 and Super Hot have like spoiled me because like now when I die, I'm just like, put me back in. But yeah, do you guys want to add anything else to this, or do we want to move to the next topic since we've got like 4 more?
Yeah, I think primarily it all comes down to taking the content and sandwiching it better, like delivering it in a better paced like chunk.
Better editing is what it sounds like.
Better editing, make me care. Flesh out Skullface. Do something with Quiet to make her more than just a fucking, silent.
Yeah. For somebody, for as a frame of reference for people, if you're currently watching Game of Thrones, kind of feels a little like that. Like this feels like a little like, oh, and then this thing happened, and it's like, yeah, but why? Like I want a little bit more context. Like, can we get a little bit more time with these characters before we just kind of jump onto the next thing? So yeah, I don't know. I think other than that, I think the only other thing I want to make mention of is fucking do something with Mother Base for the love of Christ.
Oh my god,
dude, it's just a big.
It's cool
empty,
to build it up, but there's just nothing.
Yeah, I mean it's cool to just kind of hang out. Like, don't get me wrong, but like something, please. So yeah, fun fact, Isaac. Mother Base is kind of just like a big glorified empty space.
Desert. Yeah, I don't like. That's the thing I don't like about open world. Anything is like, if
give it to me like Peace Walker.
Nothing,
like give me the option. Yeah, give me the option to just menu do it really quick.
Yeah, it's like I see what they're going for, but if there's nothing to do except to just walk around, then what's the point of it? I guess.
Well, and like they could have done both because I think. Well, and so like even like so No More Heroes 1, for anybody who's played it, the big gripe against that game is like, hey, you make Travis drive his motorcycle from point A to point B, but there's fucking nothing in between. And so what they did with No More Heroes 2 is they just made it a menu. And then people complained like, oh no, there's no character, it's just a menu. Like why not just make it both? Like why not make it to where I can press like R3 and exit the menu and walk around Mother Base on foot if I want?
Yeah.
So, which I guess is what the iDroid is.
And then, because it's like the happy medium between Peace Walker's thing, like how Peace Walker did it and how it is now.
Yeah.
And the other thing of it too, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because I very well might be, but there's not really any fast travel opportunities either.
There's the box.
I mean, yeah, but like, it's not like like you have to, like, you get in the box, you have to find a place, you have to grab the thing to unlock it, which is basically like going to a place, so it's fine. But you have to get in the box and you have to do the loading screen. It's just like, can I just pop open a menu and then hit a spot on a map and go there?
Well, and the game doesn't even tell you about the box mechanic, really.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to figure it out.
Yeah, and again, because I don't think it wants you to. And then the other thing is, you can't use the helicopter either, because if you need to get into the helicopter, you have to leave.
Yeah, you can't
Like,
fast
so
travel
it's
from
just-
point to point. Yeah.
There's no convenient fast travel, which like any competent open world game has some kind of fast travel. Even semi open world games. Like I've been playing Dragon Quest, and there's a spell called Zoom. You could just access it from the menu and just pick a place. Like it's super easy, and like it's.
Well, Dragon Quest has been doing that shit since like what, 3 or 4?
Yeah,
like forever ago.
So and it's like any competent like open world game has always had some type of very quick fast travel.
Which is
So
super
it's just
weird
like-
us talking about this, given that like at one point in time I was a 13-year-old boy playing Morrowind and walking everywhere and not using stilt striders. So
Right.
I don't know. I guess as I get older, I value my time a little bit more. And that sounds weird. I'm not saying that people who walk around in Red Dead don't value their time, but I guess I have less time to spend on games, and so I feel like it doesn't hurt anything to just make it have the option for people who want to get there quick.
And I don't even like necessarily feel like it's even that, because I think a lot of the games that we used to play where we just wander around in the world, they're interesting and there are things to do within them. You know what I mean?
People to talk to.
and there are things to discover and people to talk to and things to do. Metal Gear Solid 5 doesn't have that. It's just empty expanses. There might be a wild animal you can vault in at some point, but like there's just nothing.
How fucking cool would
And
it have
none
been to run into like a gun launderer, like at random, and like have a conversation and like buy shit, like in the middle of the map?
Yeah. Like they just didn't fill the space. Like I think it'd be different if they filled the space with interesting shit, but they just didn't.
Ooh, how cool would it have been if there was like a little village with NPCs that you could like buy shit from the shops and stuff just in the middle of the map? Like
Yeah,
almost like a
something.
village, like a village of innocent people that like, yeah, you can get into gunfights and like fuck their shit up or whatever, but like you can also sneak in and like overhear conversations with like non-aggressive NPCs.
That'd be cool.
That would have been cool. Make it feel lived in. Almost like,
Yeah.
if you took an Assassin's Creed map and then dropped MGS5 missions and sprinkled them around an Assassin's Creed map, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, awesome. Do you guys want to move on to this next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Matt Smith says, what is the boss's will? This is an interesting one. I actually really enjoy this question. Thank you, Matt.
And it kind of ties in a little bit to his other question too.
Yeah. So let's talk about this one real quick. So the boss's will is kind of the big fulcrum at which the whole game story of all these games kind of falls. So it's like you've got Cypher, who is interpreting the boss's will one way, and then you've got Snake, who's interpreting it a different way, and then you have different people in the middle. So like Ocelot, Eva, some of these other people interpret it slightly differently as well. So I guess let's just round robin this thing. I don't think we should take a tremendous amount of time on this, but yeah. Sam, do you want to start us off?
I think the boss's will is kind of like the love of a woman. I got it's like drunk Uncle Randy. Like I don't know.
I love it.
I think the boss's will is like a nice glass of eggnog on Christmas Eve. What other things could it be?
I think the boss's will is like the sweet, sweet embrace of a lover you haven't seen in years.
Oh.
No,
What do you
I'm
think the
kidding.
boss's will is?
I think the boss's will is a firm handshake.
Oh.
I want a stiff drink at a bar called the boss's will.
Ooh, yes.
Make that happen. I think. What would that be?
I feel like the boss's will.
This is how we're answering Matt's question.
Yeah.
Is we're just going to make a drink
Make
called
a
the
drink.
boss's will.
Yeah,
and
what
tell
is
you
the
how to make
boss's
it.
will? I feel like the boss's will is...
There's vodka, right?
Yeah, there's got to be vodka, but you got to have different elements of different things, right? So I feel like it's like a vodka with... What's like an American bitter that we can put in there?
Jack Daniels,
I think it's like...
Tennessee.
And yeah, don't mix brown and clear alcohols.
No, you can't do that. But I'm just.
I feel like it'd be, I don't know, like I feel like it'd be just be a glass of vodka with a slice of apple to represent Adam and
Apple
Eva,
slice.
and a nice little snake garnish,
Oh.
a little gummy
Snake
worm.
venom.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the boss's will is just peace, right? Like, she's just like, fuck it, dude. Like, whatever it takes for peace.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I think everybody is just kind of wrong about it. The problem with it's a problem, but it's a problem in service of the story, is that the problem with the boss's will is that nobody really interprets it correctly. Everybody thinks they're interpreting it correctly, but nobody really is. And that's the whole idea behind it.
Yeah.
So this kind of leads into Matt's other question, which is, we got Cypher, we got all these different people. We got Cypher, we got Big Boss, we got all these people in this game. So who's wrong and who's right, or is it neither of them? And the answer is, it is neither of them. Because if you think about it, Cypher's whole thing is to do this big master plan with the like eliminate all these ethnicities and languages and stuff like that to make it like this one homogenous happy world. And that's not what she wants. And Snake, even going back to Peace Walker, he thinks that she just fucking abandoned her whole like mantra.
Yeah,
because she gave up.
It's like extreme control versus like anarchy, I think, are the two. But I would argue that, like, I don't think Cypher wanted to extinguish the world of language. I think they were thinking about doing that, bailed on it, and then Skullface was like, I'm gonna use this. And so I think Cypher, just like information control, I guess, like all the MGS2 stuff.
Yeah.
But in general, it's like, yeah, I think Zero's like, people are fucking dumb. They need to be controlled. People are sheep. Big Boss is like, people are dope. They need to have all the control. Fuck the government. And the truth maybe is somewhere in the middle. Yeah.
So I think they just went, and I think that's part of the point, is they went to two extremes, and neither of them can really hope to capture what her will actually is, because it's more in the middle.
Yeah. It's the end of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
But yeah. Isaac, do you have anything to add before we move on to the next topic?
I do not.
Nice. I will let you guys. Tackle this next topic real quick. I'm gonna really quickly and very briefly inspect a weird scraping sound outside my back door. But please continue.
No. By the time you get back, I'll be just finishing up this question. Andrew Forster, he says, "How about any favorite or poignant quotes from the games, without being an Aussie?" The Sokolov quote from MGS3, "America is truly a frightening country."
Sorry,
genuinely holds a lot of weight in the context and outside the game to non-Americans sometimes. So, I see what you did there, Alessio.
I totally forgot that there was swearing in here. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's fine. I don't know, Sam. Do you have anything off the top of your head?
So, I have a serious kind of non-standard answer to this question, and then I have a couple joke answers. So my serious answer isn't so much like one quote, but like a conversation. And the conversation can be, and this is not just because we very recently talked to Quentin Flynn. It is because I have been thinking about this quote for a little bit after I saw a post about it. The whole conversation can be boiled down to the quote, "Jack is back." And so this is from Rising Revengeance, where he's having that conversation with Monsoon about how he's a killer and he should embrace that about him. And I saw a post about that on, it was like a snippet from a Tumblr post. And when you think about the trope that that there's a hero with a dark past and the villain tries to prove they're the same, to like psych him out, is such an overdone trope, but Rising did it in such a way where the hero's just like, you know what? Yeah, I am like you. So I'm just going to embrace that and kill you hard. Yeah, and it was very powerful, and I remember us discussing during the season that we recorded Rising, that I thought that whole monologue that Ryan did and that whole conversation and the Jack is back thing like gave me the tingles. Like it's a great way to turn that trope on its head a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like it's something we see in TV and movies quite a lot, but I feel like it's something that we rarely see in video games, which is like, because I mean, fuck, like Spec Ops: The Line is a whole game about how the main character does not realize that they're a fucking monster until like the end of the game. And so typically I think they keep the character revelations to be the big twists, but Metal Gear Rising said, fuck it, we're going to put it midway through the game, and then you get to play as this fucking crazy character for the rest of the game. And yeah, I think it's sick. That's really good. Yeah, Sam, between the trivia episode and this topic, people keep sleeping on Metal Gear Rising. They need to wake up.
They do.
Go play Metal Gear Rising.
Metal Gear Rising so first of all, it's fucking bonkers. As the story is, it's all bonkers and it's great. Second of all, gameplay is stellar, and third of all, fucking play it. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's real cheap now. Like, come on.
Yeah, no reason why you shouldn't. And then my joke answers are, of course, also not because we just had this conversation, but because I've been thinking about it, which was for Metal Gear Solid 2. Colonel Campbell, the president needs you, I think. And Colonel, I have Emma. We've managed to avoid drowning.
Yeah, that's quite good. Dude, I feel like Quentin was sitting on an atom bomb. Like, I feel like he knew that he was going to say that and it was going to kill us, and he just deployed it at the perfect time.
Yeah, just perfect. Yeah. I can't believe he just did it without prompting, which is what my favorite part was, because I was definitely going to ask him about it.
Yeah, it was super good. I think for me, I'm a real mushy boy. I have on record kind of stated that like Final Fantasy VIII is like my favorite Final Fantasy game, but I don't know if I've really stated why. And it's anytime video games decide to just embrace actual human emotions, it gets me excited. And like the theme of Final Fantasy VIII is love, and it was like the first video game I ever played where two characters said to each other, I love you, in like a romantic way. And so for me, I think I don't have a specific quote, but I think for me it's like any of like the end monologue where Eva is telling Snake in MGS3 what the truth was, or even Dr. Strangelove talking about the boss at the end of Peace Walker. Any of the moments where characters are actually talking about some like human ass shit, like I love it. I love it. And so I would definitely have to put any of that, because I think video games tend to be so sterile and I don't know, I guess like gamified, for lack of a better way of putting it, that it's, I don't know, it's always really refreshing. Like, I don't want to see fucking video game characters kiss, because that's awkward and stupid looking, but I think video game characters talking about real emotions is always a lot of fun. So yeah. Isaac, do you have one?
I'd have to agree. I mean, can't really think of any quotes per se off the top of my head, but I guess just the who was it? Was it Snake who gave the? Yeah, I guess it was Snake when he went back to New York, and he was just talking about how we have to preserve the human race, I guess, or we have to what our actions pretty much reflect and cause ripple effects downstream in the future. So we have to take that, and that's something that I kind of believe, I guess. I mean, I hope everybody believes that we, our day-to-day interactions and the things we do affects what am I trying to say? Affects our future pretty much.
Right.
And
yeah, there are repercussions to actions.
Yes. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, and I think right now, not to get super fucking political, but I think right now, like, there is a little bit of a crossroads in our culture, which is like, do we want to start doing something about the catastrophic shit happening to our planet, or do we just ride this fucking thing straight to hell? And just in general, I think even Snake straight up says it. Like, I think literally in that monologue, he's like, oh, the human race will cease to exist at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, what are we going to leave behind?
Yep.
So, and there's a fun Andy Warhol quote that I recently saw, actually, that was, oh, the goal is not to live forever. It's to create something that does. And I think that's pretty cool. So, yeah, fuck yeah, Isaac. Good pull.
Good pull.
Nice. I'm going to plug this next thing really quick just because I was on the receiving end, if that's okay, Sam.
Yeah.
So at ForceWave-1139, DM'd our Twitter account, so thank you so much for that, and sent over a really cool video. It's called MGS Analysis, Seeing Things for What They Are, Riding in Rows. I'm going to be totally transparent. I hope that this video is, based on the little bit that I looked at, it seems pretty legit. I hope the video midway through doesn't become dark and evil, but it's a like an hour plus long video on YouTube that is analyzing some aspects of MGS2. So super neat. Go check it out. I will report back if midway through it's like, oh, and this is why everyone should be killed on the streets. But yeah, no, it's neat. So definitely check it out and be sure to leave a like on that video. But yeah, Sam, I think we're ready for the responses.
All right, I'll take this this first one from Andrew Forrester via email. Let's see, you want to tell them what our email is if they want to write into the show?
Yeah, if you want to write into the show, we typically try to get all of those in before the 15th of every month, but given that every season is not necessarily exactly 4 episodes long, feel free to just kind of get them in whenever, but again, the 15th is kind of like the sweet spot. It's contact@metalgearmondays.com, or you can go to metalgearmondays.com/contact.
Yeah. And Andrew Forrester did that, and he sent us this email here, and he says, just wanted to give a few thoughts, because while Metal Gear Solid 5 is a weird one, I honestly love the core of it. Firstly, I was genuinely pleased with the conclusion of Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker, so whatever story of Metal Gear Solid 5 is there, it doesn't take away anything from the series. After realizing that most of the game's cutscenes are shown in trailers, I readjusted my view on the game and decided to take it for what it is. The best Far Cry game ever.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. He continues, Konami's writing is most interesting to me when it's merging Metal Gear's lore with real-world history, such as social commentary, Cold War, the rise of PFs, and the Phantom Pain's narrative works to build that aspect more than it does adding to the Metal Gear Solid story. I enjoyed seeing other organizations react to Diamond Dog's actions, as well as gradually unearthing the overall conspiracy, rather than being led astray or having information withheld intentionally like in previous games. Gameplay is fantastic. I personally enjoy playing through the game with minimal/basic equipment with no HUDs and reflex. There's tons of flexibility to experiment with, like playing non-lethal without using the trank gun. Holy shit.
Wow.
You can shoot enemies once or twice in the limbs with a lethal pistol to stun them and CQC them. Jesus. Fuck.
Dude, Andrew just like casually threw out some fucking hardcore shit.
Yeah, dude. That's some fucking like Russian mafia bullshit, dude. After beating it on the PS4, the optimal way to play this is on the PC with simple fixes like infinite suppressor, removes opening credits, and instant equipment unlocks.
Oh my god, that sounds like a dream come true. I'm so ready to play that when we do our Let's Play.
Yeah, it sounds like a dream. The biggest issue with the game is the pacing. We talked about this, and you're right. It all depends on having certain missions unlocked at the right time or choosing the right mission to actually progress the plot. It would have worked better if multiple missions were merged together. It would cut down on environment repetition, would flesh out each mission to be something that can't be a 2-minute speed run. For example, doing Angel with broken wings and back up, back down at the same time would add some extra tension and flavor. I also think that Ground Zero shouldn't have been sold as a prequel and was placed at the end of the first main mission where the Ground Zero's flashback plays. It would have made the opening sequences more disorienting and impactful. More importantly, it would have prevented the internet from over-speculating and ruining the true ending for themselves. The harder difficulty of Ground Zeroes compared to Phantom Limbs is just stupid and Phantom Pain?
Yeah, the mission.
Oh, the mission.
So he's saying that Ground Zeroes would happen after the hospital sequence.
Yes, okay. The harder difficulty of Ground Zeroes compared to Phantom Limbs is just stupid and doesn't make sense considering that Phantom Limbs is essentially a tutorial. My only other gripe is important side ops that lead up to missions aren't replayable and having to watch it on YouTube isn't an adequate solution. The other side ops are just filler and make a solid 18-hour game into a 50-plus one.
God, Andrew, you are fucking speaking the truth to power, good sir.
Gospel, sir.
Yeah.
Gospel.
This email is everything.
Yeah. In terms of quiet, it's a shame Kojima didn't give everyone a 20-minute lecture about sub-vocalization. I eventually looked into it on Wikipedia, and it somewhat explains why quiet refuses to read and write. Sub-vocalization, or silent speech, is the internal speech typically made when reading. It provides the sound of the word as it is read. This is a natural process when reading, and it helps the mind to access meanings, to comprehend and remember what is read, potentially reducing cognitive load. This inner speech is characterized by minuscule movements in the larynx and other muscles involved in the articulation of the speech. Most of these movements are undetectable without the aid of machines by the person who is reading. It is one of the components of Baddeley and Hitch's phonological loop proposal, which accounts for the storage of these types of information into short-term memory. And then he gave us a link to that Wikipedia article, and he says, you can decide if it's a cop-out or not. Thanks, sad Metal Gear fanboy.
Yeah, so just
thank you for all of that, Andrew.
Yeah, just to reiterate what Andrew was saying about the quiet thing, I think what he is positing is that if Quiet were to read or write, she might inadvertently trigger the parasites because she's reading to herself on like a sort of hard to discern level.
So what subvocalization is, when you're reading something in your head and you're hearing the words, you're technically speaking. It's just very minute.
Yeah, it's like you have to use machines to register it. So I wonder if it would have triggered the parasites.
Maybe. That is
interesting. I do think it's a cop-out, though, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think it is. I think it would have been a very, I'd rather it just be like he just forgot than he was just like, oh, what about sub-vocalization? Because,
I do. Given how much Ocelot lectures to people, I'm surprised that he doesn't mansplain sub-vocalization at some point.
I'm surprised Ocelot isn't fucking dead, given that he talks so much.
That's a good point. I do think that the first question I'm going to ask Stephanie Justin when we interview her, I think the first thing that's going to come out of my mouth is, do you think the whole game could have been resolved by having Quiet sign at any point? And I'm just going to see what she says. Because I have watched videos where Stephanie has played Metal Gear Solid 5, so maybe she'll tell us why Quiet doesn't know sign language but knows weird Native American hyper-specific dialects.
Yeah, like she was able to speak Dine. Like, come on.
Yeah, sorry, not that they're.
That was another one of my questions that I had. Like, she clearly will speak Navajo, so why wouldn't she just use Kotaker as a translator?
Yeah, you're good. That's a good point. Isaac, do you want to read Dalton's?
Hey, I can. Let me get to it.
Hold on, let me scan it for swear words real quick.
What's that?
Let me scan it for swear words. Oh, you're good. You're in the clear.
It's all good. It's all good. Dalton wouldn't do me like that. All right, Dalton Mack writing us via email. Alessio, what's that email address again?
It's contact@metalgearmondays.com.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah.
Hit us up, guys.
Oh, my God.
Dalton says, hey, Metal Gear Mondays gang. I'm writing because I believe I may have a somewhat different perspective. MGS5 was actually the first game in the series I played. I was looking for an extra game to fulfill a 4 for $20 used game deal at GameStop and grabbed Ground Zeroes.
You skipped over the best part.
Oh, shoot.
To fulfill a 4 for $20 Blaze It used game deal.
My bad. Sorry.
Thanks, Dalton.
Sorry, Dalton.
Given that Sam's in a state where it's legal, I feel like we have to be 420 friendly on Metal Gear Mondays. Yeah.
True.
We don't have to be.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
But we should.
We are.
Be.
It's fine.
That's funny.
Anyway,
we got our Phantom cigars. It's okay.
Hey, CBD's legal here in Georgia, so
and super helpful.
And CBD is legal in Missouri. The more you know. Go ahead, Isaac.
Let's hop on our soapbox about weed for a minute, shall we? No.
Sam
Sam
was waiting this whole time.
Let me hop on my hemp box.
Now it's a podcast about marijuana.
Marijuana Mondays.
All right, continue reading.
All right. Anyway, this 4 for $20 deal, blaze it, was sometime around December 2017. Anyway, enjoyed it, then bought the Phantom Pain. I had some extra time before my grad school semester started, so I beat it, putting in about 86 hours over 12 days. Jeez.
Goddamn.
So I then went back and played the rest of the main canon in order, thanks to the Legacy Collection for PS3. Playing MGS5 first, of course, gave me a very, very strange perception of Ocelot as I navigated the rest of the series, as well as no clues as to the identities of Eli, the Man on Fire, or Mantis. Kind of like James, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that is
James,
that is
a good point.
weird. Yeah, he did play it weirdly.
Yeah. But his distaste for
Huey.
Otacon. and thus Otacon, apparently. That's funny. Anyway, Dalton continues. My opinion now is that the same is the same as it is back then. Not only is The Phantom Pain the best Metal Gear game, but is the greatest video game I have ever played. And I'm not sure any others were particularly close. Oh,
Hey,
no.
we're equal
No, I hear the
opportunity. We're
groans.
equal opportunity response readers on this show. So Dalton, bring it on.
I personally disagree, but we approve of all voices on this podcast.
Let's hear his reasons, guys. All right, hear him out.
Let's hear his reasons.
All
I want to hear him out.
I
Change
need
my
a
mind.
120-page dissertation.
And that
on
guy,
my
and that
best
meme of that
yesterday.
guy sitting at a table. Metal Gear Solid 5 is not the greatest Metal Gear of all time. Change my mind. I want to hear those reasons.
Okay, so here's why. The game stands as the logical conclusion of the stealth genre. Every aspect perfected in this edition of Metal Gear Solid. Whereas it took me 3 times as long to finish this as it did for Guns of the Patriots, I didn't feel much bloat here. Shocking, I know. Nor was I struggling
Did you play
to make...
missions 36 through 50? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Nor was I struggling to make sense of whatever the Patriots and their AI and proxies were. We all get different things out of games, but for me, I didn't feel that any of the big moments or emotional beats were unearned. I felt that Quiet Story was well put together and that the bond was able to form even without any verbal communication. I felt as though Skullface was an excellent villain, the silence on the car ride notwithstanding. These are all spoilers for me, Dalton. Thanks a lot.
Wow.
Just kidding. That's my fault. The child soldiers do appear tangentially, and I think that's part of the point, that we sometimes lose sight of the individual stories and disgustingness during wartime because of the adherence to the overall mission, things this game forced us to confront. I do agree, though, that Huey seemed to just drastically different from his portrayal in Peace Walker. However, I imagine a lot can change in a decade. Sure, the game did feel... What's that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good point. I
point.
forget that like 9 years pass from the point of the comatose to the game beginning.
I kind of like that theory. All right, a theory, I guess you could say, that he changed. Anyway, sure, the game did feel...
Had a kid, fucked him up.
And was, of course, unfinished, but it did adequately complete the narrative strand of Metal Gear, and I'm not sure I needed to have another... Oh, gosh.
Sahelanthropus.
Say it again?
Let's call it Sally.
Sally battle on the
Sally.
new map. Although I'd be lying if I'd say I'd have liked it. Say that I'd liked to. Please tell me you caught the paw pad dialogue. HTTPS YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. He put a
link
YouTube
to
link
it.
to I guess this dialogue.
Yeah,
Things
it's a
like
link
that
to
are
a cassette tape of Ocelot talking about the pads on D-Dog's paws.
Oh,
It's very cute.
that's awesome. Oh, on the buddies. on the dog buddies.
Yeah, he's like talking about the different buddies.
Things like that are perfect examples of how deep and incredible this game to me is to me personally. And with apologies to Snake Eater and Sons of Liberty, this was the pinnacle of the series. When you cast a big net, yeah, you'll get a bit of useless debris, but you'll also catch the most fish. Sorry this was so long. Love your work. Sincerely, Dalton.
Hey,
Thanks,
Dalton. We love your work, sir.
That was a hot take.
I'm gonna. It was a hot take. I'm gonna come out the gate. I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not coming out the gate swinging. I'm coming out the gate with my hand extended.
Sam's just walking.
I
out the
respect
gate.
this opinion, Dalton. I truly do. I disagree with most of it, but I respect it.
Dalton, I think that you're right, and that we're right, and that's the beauty of interpreting media.
Yeah.
Yay. But seriously, that's awesome. Thank you for...
God earned the power of friendship.
Dalton, thank you for sharing that with us and having the confidence to send that to us to read. So, appreciate it.
So if you can send us your address so we can have our listeners doxy, that'd be great.
Yeah, you'd send that to contact@metalgearmondays.com.
No.
So I'm going to read this next email. This is funny. I'm reading Tori's email. Sam, you can't read this. I'm reading Tori.
I can't. Listen. Tori Cortez is my best friend, of course, as we all know. But I can't hog all of the glitter.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder, Sam.
I got to give you guys some of the gold sometimes. So take it away, sir.
I appreciate that. She says, "Hey guys, hey Tori. I'm tackling a little bit of Peace Walker at a time, like half a chapter left at this point, in order to get to the Phantom Pain and finally be caught up on the podcast. In the meantime, I've been playing through the rest of the series because, well, I'm always playing through the rest of the series. God bless you, Tori. That was me. But now, Tori continues, I have reason to play through other Metal Gear games I might not have played without the podcast. For example, I must be completely oblivious because I just realized today that I have Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. You, of course, know that this means I have access to Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I never checked out the second disc included with this game and just never thought about looking into anything beyond the story as I knew it before Metal Gear Mondays. I'm so excited to play these games and others in the Metal Gear universe. I just wanted to say thanks for hashing and rehashing these games as well as inspiring and entertaining a community of pretty cool Metal Gears folk. P.S. I was totally going to attach a short video of my interpretive dance to the Snake Eater theme, but Google says I can only have a 25 megabyte sent in an email, and that's like 10 seconds of video, and that's dumb, but trust me, it was going to be cool and not lame at all. This is Alessio telling you that I responded with, here's WeTransfer.com. You can send us 2 gigs. Give us this goddamn video. She sent us the video. Me and Sam watched the video and laughed our asses off. It was fantastic.
It was very good.
So, Tori, if you ever get courageous,
this video?
Yeah, Tori, if you ever get courageous, feel free to throw it up on the Facebook page. But I'll see if I can link it to Isaac as well.
Yeah, it was very good. So that's actually pretty cool because if you are a patron, we have been doing we recently. I don't know. Time is a flat circle, but all
right, Matthew McConaughey.
We got done doing our coverage of Metal Gear Solid 1 Let's Play on the original PS1 Metal Gear Solid 1 on our Patreon. Our next game we're going to be playing for patrons is going to be the original Metal Gear, so that's actually perfect timing.
Yep. Isaac, I am sending you a Dropbox link of Tori's video right now.
Dropping it. Tori, I'm going to watch it live.
Drop it in. All right, so it's in the Google chat with you and Sam.
All right, cool.
Oh, thanks, Cole Duncan. He literally, as of this minute, subscribed to us on YouTube.
Yay, Cole Duncan.
Isaac.
I'll provide an alternate take. What took you so long, Cole?
That's crazy.
Shall I read Simon Creek's email?
Yeah, so read that, and then Isaac, share with us what you think of Tori's video after Sam concludes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Simon Creek writes in via email. He says, "This is surreal. I've been listening to Metal Gear Mondays for literally an entire month now, and every free moment I have, listening during housework, switching from headphones to my car stereo, and back for every shopping trip or work commute, and now I have finally decided to email you, so here goes. You and the guys have basically been the soundtrack to my April, May, so thank you very much for that. I just wanted to thank you all for the entertainment and distraction that you have provided me. As of a couple of days ago, okay. As of a couple of days ago, I have been living in my car due to problems with my partner and me. Not wanting to row in front of my infant son. Hopefully it will all fix itself and my next email can be from a happier place, but just wanted to say hi and say that I am currently listening to the most recent episode I have access to and that I am very excited for what appears to be an upcoming David Hayter episode. Have been umming and ahhing for a month now about what I would send if I did send a message, so I'm sorry if I'm going on and on, but I'll just state one of the points I think to myself whenever you guys talk about how much time this podcast has taken of your lives. There was a point where you would mention the collective hours you put in as being a depressing statistic. So I just wanted to, that was Alessia that said that. So I just wanted to put a thought out there that maybe you haven't considered. For every hour you have recorded, if you times it by the amount of listeners that will listen to it, you can work out roughly how many days, weeks, years, and decades of total entertainment that you have given to the world just with that 1 hour. Hope that makes sense. I've never written that thought down before, but anyway, please keep it going as long as you can. I hope you are all happy. He says, feel free to mention any of this in an episode and also feel free to tweak it to make it more interesting or whatever if you want. Kind of lacking sleep at the moment, so not confident enough to be sure if this is even that cohesive. And he ends with, it's just a box. We're trying to end our show, Simon. Come on.
Yeah, come on, Simon. But no, seriously, I wanted to include this. I know it's not proper etiquette, I guess, to include a bunch of gushy shit about the show, but I wanted to include that not just for us, but for people listening that maybe are working on big projects, because reading that definitely made me feel a little bit more motivated to stick to it. So I just want to say thank you. And I just also want to say I apologize to the listeners if I default to depressing. I feel like I definitely am like, oh man, I'm dying, like any given moment. Like literally direct.
So I generally feel too.
Direct quote of me at work the other day was, I can't remember what somebody said. Somebody was like, oh man, that's going to take a long time. And then I just looked them dead in the eyes and was like, the benefits of being mortal. Am I right? And then just kept walking.
Jesus.
So,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Just goofing, It is how it is.
Yeah. Thanks for that insight, Simon. That was
yes. Thank you, Simon. It's a good thing to think about, and I also I hope and I'm sure that your situation will improve as the days go by. So just keep keeping on, and thank you for listening. I'm glad that we can provide happiness to you.
Yeah. Unless we created the schism, in which case, stop listening to us, please.
Yeah, please. Before Isaac reads the Stixie Bill, but his teeth did that. And I also
like
wanted
a
to
whip
state
came out of your mouth.
It was. Thank you. I before you also read this email from Matt Smith, I just want to go, and you'll see why I've said this. I just want to go on record. Couscous blows.
Oh, I love couscous.
Chunks. Couscous blows bad.
like the food.
You haven't had good couscous, yeah.
I've cooked. I cook it. I do good.
Okay.
We'll
get good couscous in Seattle.
You give me good couscous.
No
I
couscous
give you.
for you.
No, I want good couscous. You give me good couscous. I've had like the small grain couscous. I made some like
you get the fat
Israeli
boys.
couscous.
I love the big fat ones.
I can't stand it. It's too.
No.
I don't like it.
You gotta throw a lot of fucking garlic and butter in there, son.
I had butter in there. I got HelloFresh, baby. I cooked that shit.
Oh, that's true. Isaac, did you watch Tori's video?
I did. I loved it. The wide-eyed pan to the camera. That was golden.
Yeah. That's very good. Isaac, do you want to read this
really
next,
good.
This next message?
I was hoping it'd be
I'm just
longer.
really quick. I'm just saying
Say
that I'm open to having my mind changed, but I don't think anybody's gonna be able to do it. Couscous fucking blows. Anyway,
we'll change his mind.
Matt Smith.
You can trust me and Isaac.
We'll ram it down your throat, Sam. How
my
about that?
God.
Oh God, no.
Until you like it.
It's gonna be like that
Stockholm
first.
syndrome, and kind of me too, dude.
It's gonna be like the first. It's gonna be like the first cardinal sin from Seven. They're gonna find Sam tied up in his apartment, just like dead from eating too much couscous, with this letter taped to him.
Oh man, that's fun.
Oh dear. Anyway, read this email before we
You get ready for
lose
this,
our
Sam.
minds.
It's happening. All right.
I'm so ready for it.
Matthew Smith writes, a.k.a. Matt, you know I'm going to get my listener response in, but it's hard to say anything about this game that isn't just obvious. But here are my 2 cents. I'm a Solid Snake guy, so I couldn't really care less about whether 5 was medic or if we're all Big Boss. I'm already a demon, so what does it matter? Now, if you want to tell me that 5 was Matt Campbell, or V. Oh, I keep saying 5. I'm sorry. V was Matt Campbell. That's a theory I'd listen to. Anyways, I'm not a huge fan of Pain. What, Sam?
I love that this is a total non-spoiler.
I was laughing at that next part. Is anyone? Clearly, yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't get to it.
I'm
yet,
laughing.
Sam.
I'm laughing at the fact that Isaac is like spoiling the shit out of the game for himself, and yet somehow doesn't know that that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
No, I realized because I was like, "What? 5 was medic? 5 was Matt Campbell?" No, I yeah. Anyway,
Squint your eyes, Isaac. Just don't think too.
It don't
closely
matter.
about it.
Is anyone? It's just not that kind of Metal Gear I'm used to. But it was very fun gameplay-wise. It is really fun to just go in a goof around kind of like GTA, but it lacks the cinematic value of all other titles in the series. I would agree with the 5 hours I played. Playing again, along with the show, I mostly wanted to swear at my TV. I chose the language of gratitude instead and go back to silence. I did get a kick out of the Kojima-ness I missed in my initial playthrough, even as early as the prologue. I'm sitting there like, man, I got to go through this again, and I realized Kojima took one of his trademark / frustrating escort missions and made you, the player, the annoying tag-along. Just another middle finger from Hideo to the fans. And then the obligatory someone pissing themselves. Yeah. I can't believe I never really noticed this before, but it reignited my interest in playing with a more watchful eye for more signs of Kojima. There is a lot to love in the cutscenes and the way the game looks. I will agree with that. Anyway, he says some cool new characters and some cool new quote-unquote characters, whatever that means. I'll also give it some credit for interesting themes, and there goes Sally again, being awesome.
There goes Sally.
Man, this makes no sense. Anyway, Matt says, it's like Koji Pro had the recipe and the ingredients, but chose to improvise on the measurements, leaving them with a
Good way to put that.
Yeah, charbroiled pile of ramen instead of a delicious bowl of couscous. Sam, we definitely, because of all that we went on with Konami, got shortchanged with the last real MGS game. What I get frustrated with has a lot to do with the open world concept. I understand they're trying something a little different, but I personally just prefer the Kojima hand holding. I like the way MGS4 gave you a little more freedom than previous games, but still kind of funneled you through the game, which in turn funneled you through the story. I just get tired of rescuing 75 hostages and stealing a bunch of blueprints, especially since it doesn't even seem pertinent. I feel like the main missions should just be more direct, and then you should just have the ability to do the side ops as you please. Some of the main missions in this game seem like side ops too. Then you basically have to repeat the garbage on a different difficulty setting. I always play through Metal Gear games on different difficulty settings, but at my own leisure. Don't make me do it to pad your game. Wow, man. Some fire.
The emphasis was all wrong.
Then by the time I was able to
I want to see what you see.
Yeah. Right? Then by the time I was able to develop all the cool weapons and items, I was so over the game. that I had no interest in going back through the missions to use them. To me, it's like they tried to combine the best things from Peace Walker and great mechanics from MGS4, which is an amazing idea, but they executed it poorly. The funny thing about it is they nailed Ground Zeroes. So what happened? I've really enjoyed playing online, however, it really falls short of its potential too. That's my main gripe with the whole game. It could have been so much more. I'd like to thank you guys for keeping your word and powering through this game for us listeners. I know I've bugged you for a long time about covering it, and for that I apologize. Worth it, though. I very much enjoyed playing along with the show, as always. Happy to watch the podcast improving and growing. MGM is building a nation. Matt Smith.
Thanks, Matt.
That's thanks.
So
yeah, thanks for
it's diametrically opposed to the other response that we got that answers
Right.
the question, is anyone a big fan of MGS5? And the answer is yes. But also an equally valid opinion.
That's very good.
We are building a nation where we can be friends and disagree about 5.
Yeah, that is Sam's will. I'm stealing everybody's best friends. I'm gonna read Liquid Metal Mike. Let's do this shit. Liquid Metal Mike.
Wait. Before you get into Mike's email, I want to know if anybody knows how to find that guy who gave us the 3-star iTunes review because we wouldn't cover 5. You could get a hold of him and let him know like we did it, so he can fix his review. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Also, I've been working on my confidence for the last 6 months of my life, in and outside of this podcast. So,
Oh, man.
can we just tell him that your boy's been going to like weekly meetings and shit? Like, I need that extra star, dude.
Validation. I need those 2 stars back, bro.
Oh my god. All right, so here we go. Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Liquid Metal Mike begins. Ground Zeroes was the reason I purchased a PS4. Loved it. The Fox engine blew my mind. Did you guys ever notice when playing as Raiden, he sort of sounds like David Hayter when holding up guards? And I believe he's referring to the Jamais Vu mission from Ground Zeroes. Couldn't wait to see what Phantom Pain had in store. Turns out, my expectations were severely warped.
Oh, no.
I thought I would get to see Big Boss play the U.S. government like a damn fiddle, leading Foxhound while building Outer Heaven behind their backs. That I would get to meet young Frank Yeager and watch him rise to the rank of Gray Fox. The fan theories were numerous and interesting, though I ignored them to develop my own. I assumed the voice change was due to the ending, where surely a young Solid Snake, voiced by David Hayter, would, quote, go too far and have to be killed. Kiefer would yell, "Show me what you've got, Snake," and the baddest, bloodiest, most expertly choreographed CQC cutscene would bring the story to a climax, where a defeated Snake would backtrack to find a Nikita and return with just enough strength to aim it at Big Boss's chest. I even expected Kojima to give us control of Snake at that last second and make us pull the trigger ourselves. After building Outer Heaven, becoming a war tyrant, and developing into a villain, the player would have to be the one who ultimately ends their own story. Nope. I got to take 49 rides in a helicopter, hang out with a dog, a horse, basically a walking set of tits, eat hamburgers with a 100-year-old man, defeat the most advanced Metal Gear ever because video games, and of course, vape my ass off. Dope.
For the record, the dog is amazing, and eating hamburgers with that 100-year-old man is the most character anybody gets in this video game. So.
Yeah, for the record, Mike, fucking expertly crafted email, sir. This is fantastic.
Yes.
Mike continues. If nothing else, this email should provide insight into how naive I can be. I do have love for the gameplay, and years later have come to appreciate the wild theories and digressions that fans have developed. PT being Venom's nightmare is a good one. And as it turns out, Metal Gear Online is really, really fun. Sorry if this was way too long. Thanks for all your hard work and dedication to this amazing podcast. Best regards, LMM.
I've been telling y'all to quit apologizing for long messages for years. Literally,
Yeah, guys,
literally years.
We need them. It's literally content now. Like, there's a whole episode dedicated to it.
Literally content, yeah.
You're doing our jobs
But
for
yeah.
us, so don't apologize. But yeah, no, this is a really fucking good outer op. I am loving these outer ops, you guys.
Yeah.
These are quite
A little
good.
bit of topic, a little bit of listener response,
A little bit
a
of
whole lot
Monica.
of character.
A little bit
Would
of
you
Monica
say
on
you're
my side.
in Outer Op Heaven?
Ooh.
Isaac, I think I would.
Really quickly before we go to wrap things up, I do want to just kind of chart through what the future of Metal Gear Mondays looks like.
Ooh.
So let's talk about some upcoming episodes.
Let's talk about some upcoming episodes.
Yeah. So, so based on really quickly, sorry. So based on the chronology of the events that have happened tonight, you will have heard an interview with Quentin Flynn before this. Then you will have heard this. Next week, you're going to hear episode number 100, which we're calling Metal Gear Factivia. It's fantastic. Yes. We loved that episode. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
After that, and Isaac, not to put you on the spot, but I am assuming you're going to be here for this one. We're going to do Worlds of Power Metal Gear. So we're going to read the Metal Gear book. And then we've got a couple other interviews.
The Scholastic Book Fair Metal Gear book that was discussed in our interview with Terry Wolf.
Correct. Yeah, we actually managed to get a copy, again, thanks to, I believe it was a Sean from Kansas City. Sean, I cannot remember your last name right now, so I apologize.
I'm actually on it right now. It's a Box Looter. It's Sean L.
Sean, you're definitely
Sean Winner.
Change your fucking last name, brother.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Backtrack. But yeah, also, we are hopefully, just so everybody is aware, we've made our patrons aware, so I'm not too nervous about spoiling this. Guys, it kind of seems like we might have a couple interviews lined up. So fingers crossed. We got Debbie Mae West on the horn. We got Dean Schofield, otherwise known as Johnny from Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2.
Johnny.
And we might be booking some time with Stephanie Houston. So
the one and
then
only.
after that, yeah, so we're going to use those interviews to actually pad out time for me to edit our most ambitious episode to date. And it is a live, aka like documentary episode entitled MGM Visits the Renton City Retro. We're going to make an episode out of our entire trip. And so it's going to be kind of like a weird on the scene, Alessio carrying a microphone with him for 6 days and like recording a weird audio documentary. So it's going to be different. We love to experiment, so it'll be new. But then after that, we start our season on Kojima's non-Metal Gear games. And just to really quickly round out what that is, we're going to be doing Penguin Adventure, Snatcher, Police Knots, Zone of the Enders 1 and 2, and Boktai. We'll save the rest for when we get closer to it. But yeah, I'm excited for all these episodes.
Yeah, me too. And there's a couple ideas that I swung a pretty unique idea to Alessio the other day, or it was last night actually, about something that I want to do for the show as well, talking about experimenting. So
yeah, I think it'll be good. We'll have to figure out where they slot in, but I think we will have some more extra ops between seasons. So
yeah, between seasons, and I mean, we're coming up on maybe some kind of remaster.
That's very true.
And that might be a good place to
do. Ooh,
so.
That's actually true. I am actually going to go ahead and do that right here. But yeah. I can't remember what the fuck it's called in the something. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
I was like, that's too many uses of that word. It can't be that word. But maybe it is. But yeah, so that's awesome. We just did a sign off for another episode, so this feels weird and out of place. Let's sign off again, I guess.
Yeah, so I fixed that in there for you there.
Oh, there it is. Perfect. I was like, that's not what that's called.
I see why you hesitated. You can support us. Listen. You will have heard this with Quentin, on the Quentin episode that we talked to Quentin Flynn. We have a lot of things that we do. We have an Instagram. We have a merch shop. We have a Patreon. We have a Facebook and a Twitter and all this other stuff like that. But we have one source of truth for all of this stuff, and that is MetalGearMondays.com. Go there. You got links to everything. Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, Instagram, the shop, our YouTube channel. That is the one thing I will plug. To get a unique URL, we need 100 YouTube subscribers. We are slowly gaining traction with that. If you look up Metal Gear Mondays on YouTube, or if you go to the site and use the link to our YouTube from there, give us a little subscribe. Get us to 100. We'll get a unique link, and everything will be awesome. But yeah. Check us out on all those places. MetalGearMondays.com.
I love it.
Alessio, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at www.metalgearmondays.com.
Yep.
Perfect.
But no, AC Summerfield pretty much anywhere. So, hey.
Isaac, where can they find you on the internet?
I'll say it once, and and that's it. Doesn't have a twit.
Yep, you got it. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
He did it.
You can find me on the internet at Sanjul. That's on Twitter. SANJUUL. We mentioned this earlier, but my PSN ID is Deadpool Alpha. If you want to play Metal Gear Online, we'll do that more. And you can also find me at MetalGearMondays.com, much like Alessio.
Ooh. I love it.
We got
The beat.
You know how the podcast and how it happens, and then we stop doing it, and then for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how we say the thing. We say a thing.
Yeah. What do we typically say?
Don't say it.
Don't say it. You know how when you are living in a place, and then it's like how you stop living in that place so you can go live in another place.
Yeah, what is that?
Well, I think it's like, you know how it's like I think it's moving.
It's just relocation.
It's just relocation, but you have to put you know how like you have things in the place you live.
Yeah,
I don't know if I follow.
You know how
Sam.
you have to get.
I usually sell all my things and then buy new things.
Yeah.
I wish I could continue this bit. That's basically what I did when I moved to Seattle. Sold my bed, sold my dresser, sold everything, and bought new stuff.
Oh man, yeah.
Dope. So you're lying to us right now.
Yeah, but I did have a couple things in that move, and to pack other things in. Fucking, this is taking forever. It's just a box.
Yeah.
And it's not funny. It stopped being funny like before it started.
Yeah, should we just not do that anymore at the end?
I feel like we can't just give up.
Yeah, I mean it's. Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm putting this out there in the universe. It is next week will be 100 episodes. We've produced so many hours of content, don't even know what the fuck to do with, and we've been bumbling our way through this outro for literally 3 years. We've been every single episode. From the episode 1, we bumbled with this outro.
Yeah, for like 1,000.
Do
like
we
1,000 arrow hours.
Change it?
I don't know. Let's find out. Go to patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays if you wanna vote in that poll. I'm just gonna open that to everybody.
Hey, at me if you hate it. Is that how you say it? Is that what you do?
That's good. That's good because you did a good job, Isaac.
Okay.
That's good because if you hate that idea, we're never gonna know because Isaac never opens his Twitter.
Perfect.
True.
So that's kind of like tweeting at Isaac is kind of like, you know how when you tell people it's like, yeah, here's the complaint box, and you hold up like a trash can or something like that.
Are you calling me
people
a trash
to tweet
can?
it at Isaac is kind of like doing, yeah, kind of. Telling people to tweet it at Isaac is kind of like that gesture. It's like nobody cares, nobody's gonna see it because nobody actually gives a fuck.
Why? Because of why, Sam? Is it because it's just a box?
It's because it's just a box.
Freak.
Quentin Flynn, we gotta just copy and paste the ones that he left us because those were so much better than this.
That was the best one.
It's just a box.
Just a box.